We are going to embark on the topic of building resilience in historically marginalized women. Who are marginalized women? And it is a very important topic because nowadays we have to talk about gender promotion, women promotion, but women also are different among themselves. Yeah? Did you know that? Women are also different, women groups are also different, yeah? Among themselves. They are rich women, they are poor women, yeah? Yeah. They are white women, they are black women, yeah? They are black women, they are also black city women and black rural area women, yeah? So abagore bo mu cyaro n'abagore bo mu mijyi, abagore b'abakire n'abagore b'abakene. Yeah? When we talk about empowerment, we look at those clusters. It's very important. Yeah. In India, we have, for instance, what we call caste system, and whereby people are marginalized according to their caste or belonging, right? Belongingness to the community. Yeah? Yeah. And this brings inside the issue of discrimination. For instance, the caste society in India, for instance. There are very people, either men or women, who cannot get a nice job in India simply because of their class. Yeah. Yes. So in Rwanda also we have had such kind of classes, and we call them a historically marginalized person, because in Rwanda we have a policy which avoids talking about ethnicity, and not only ethnicity or religious belonging or advancing religious belonging. Whether you are Muslim or Christian or not, you are equal Rwandans. That is our policy. Yeah? As Rwandans, we decided to have what we call Rumunyarwanda. So whenever we use term either Twa or Tutsi or Hutus, don't be bored, because it will be like a help to teach you, not to bring you back to the... Okay? But in Rwanda, for instance, the Potters community has been marginalized by the society for a long time, and that is what we call historically marginalized groups. Right. So, but now we are talking about resilience. Yeah? And then how can we build resilience in historically marginalized women? Because marginalization brings up stigma of inferiority. Yeah? Whereby a person feels inferior to grasp the opportunities available. And also, with marginalization, you are in a deep poverty because of what we call structural violence. Structural violence, do you know it? It is when the government or state have discriminated gradually the community for a long time. No access to education, no access to public service, no access to land, no access to money, no access to job. Full stop. And the community can get poorer and poorer and poorer, and even die systematically. And that is what we call structural violence. Yeah. Yeah? So marginalized groups always face the challenge of poverty and challenge of trauma and challenge of inferiority, feeling inferior. And you cannot innovate when you feel always inferior. Yeah. And that is a big problem among women. Yeah. So then how can we build resilience among them? How can we build resilience among those communities? How can we remove inferiority facts in their mindset? How can we change their mind? As my colleague has been saying, how can we change the mindset of the people in order to develop? Because to develop, you have to change the mindset. By the way, before I go quickly on that, maybe you didn't understand where the term development, yeah? What is the difference between development and economic growth? Yeah? Ni ikihe kinyuranye hagati y'icyo twita iterambere no kwiyongera ku bukungu no kuzamuka ku bukungu? Someone? Yes?
I think for the growth, we consider the quantity, but for the development, we consider the quality within that quantity. For example, for economic growth, we measure how much the country produce, how much the products from industry, how much from products from the trades, from tourism. But for the development, we measure what's the quality of the products are produced in the country. For example, we produce a cement. What is the quality of that cement when we are going deep in development? Thank you.
Very good. That's the GDP, the gross domestic product.
Yes.
Yeah? And mostly the GDP, we calculate it per capita, per person. Yeah. For measuring development. For instance, what is the GDP per capita of Rwanda? The GDP per capita for individual person. Muturage yinjiza iki ku mwaka? Cyangwa for 7? No. No. The GDP per capita of Rwanda, how much? Per year. In the 2008, you are there. Almost there. We have $950 per year. Yeah? Per person. Yeah? In 2022, the recent one.
For the people who stays in the rural areas.
Yeah, that can make a difference. It's a very good point. For the people in the rural areas, it can decrease even more. Even more. Yeah? Rwanda is having $950 production per annum, per year, for individual household or individual person, in terms of microeconomy. This means that Rwanda is among the poorest, but not so poor like Burundi. For Burundi is like $450. The whole region is the poorest region globally. And it is the least educated.
The eastern is more poorer than sub-Saharan? No?
The eastern?
Yes, sub-Saharan first and then
include also parts of sub-Saharan. South Sudan, Somalia, and going down to Zambia. So it is the least educated region and also the poorest region globally. It means, for instance, the literacy rate is low. For instance, in South Sudan, for instance, in Rwanda. When you talk about literacy rate, for instance, the country like Japan has 99% literacy. In South Sudan, I think it's 50%, if not less, yeah?
15?
Maybe 50, something.
South Sudan is 50? Education? I don't think less.
Literacy rate, yeah? Less, very low, huh? You can check on internet, yeah? But Rwanda is 77, also the least. Percent. It means that we have more illiterate people compared to other countries, Middle East or Southeast Asia as well. So the GDP per capita of Rwanda is 950, excluding maybe even some rural areas are very poor, as our sister said. But the country like Qatar, for instance, the GDP is almost $70,000. Country like Qatar, country like Singapore, country like I don't know about Bahrain. Bahrain maybe is also is like maybe 50,000. I don't know. We have to check on internet. But our country is really deeply poor. Comparing, for instance, to West Africa. West Africa, they are about 4,000 and 5,000. They are reaching middle income. But why have we been stagnant over time? Because either there is social conflict, social crisis, like ethnicity and genocide ideology and conflict among allies, leaders, always conflicting. This is one of the facts. Another fact is the lack of production. Another fact is marginalization of certain groups. We have this, and we have to understand this. So, but how then resilience can help? How can resilience can help a person to grow up? This time resilience, we thank God because even our institution is about resilience economy, spiritual economy. Nowadays, the theory of resilience is overtaking in economics the theory of capability approach or empowerment. Yeah. That is why we tried also to bring about this theory in our session of women empowerment. 2 decades ago, there was 2 scholars, powerful scholars, like Amartya Sen, for instance, Amartya Sen, or Muhammad, who? Yunus, from Bangladesh. Those are the key scholars in 2 decades ago that were prominent in economics, especially for developing nations. And Muhammad is one who created Ibimina. You know, in Rwanda, many women have now access to finance through Ibimina. Microcredit system. That's from Muhammad Yunus series in Bangladesh. He called it Grameen Bank.
Or they call it sometimes Bank of the Poor.
Banks of the poor. And now it is a key strategy that Rwanda is using for financial access.
The beneficiaries of the bank, more than 90% is women.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. In Rwanda, most of the women, like the ones that I will show you, he said he has, for instance, a bank account through women, and she has been getting loans 2 times. For, of course, microcredit, 300,000, 200,000, but it can make difference. Yeah. So why do you have to focus on the former theory and bringing also resilience? Because having access to finance only is not enough. You have also to have consciousness. Because empowerment, you can get a cow, for instance, through President Kagame, 1 cow per family, but you can sell it even younger without growing it because you are not resilient enough. Some people are not resilient enough that they cannot thrive, for instance. So from Mohammed Yunus on the banks of the poor, we have also Amartya Sen on capability approach. And Amartya Sen says development as freedom. You cannot be free if you are poor. No. Can you be free if you are poor?
No.
Suppose you don't have a ticket to go to visit your parents in the east, for instance, in Yagatari, and you are in Kigali, and they call you, they say your mom is sick, and you don't have ticket to go there. If you don't have social capital, for instance, someone to ask money, maybe to pay back later, how will you manage? You will be straight? Yes. So Amartya Sen said, if people are poor, they don't have freedom. That is why certain society, for instance, like what Mrs. Liberata was talking about, if women don't have access to money, they can be used by many other people wrongly. No? That is why the country is like Germany, for instance, say, okay, let's give financial money to women so that they can be financially empowered and then be independent. That's the change due to finance. So, according to Amartya Sen, capability approach, you have to build capacity of people, to build infrastructure for people, to build schools for people, to build institutions for training, like this institution, to give them, for instance, roads, nice roads, so that they can have different facilities. That is the theory of capability approach. Are we together?
Yes.
Thereafter, from Mohammed Yunus to Amartya Sen, there comes different scholars on resilience. And one of those scholars, of course, is sitting here. Who, do you guess who? For instance. Yes, he's also a scholar on resilience. There are many other scholars coming forth now. But maybe you will get chances to read many books from him and be inspired by him. There are a lot of books here. You can come anytime and just go to the library and read some of the theories on inspiration, economy, or resilience, economy. One also is promoting that through Itorero, yeah? We are trying to teach people to be resilient. What does this mean? You should school wiki. You tubwire abantu babe resilient, ubuta mu Kinyarwanda babita ubudahera. Resilience in Kinyarwanda means ubudahera, to be not taken back by some past. If you have been poor and non-educated, your kid can be educated. But how will you have a mindset of importance of education if you didn't go to school? It's resilience, full resilience. Are we clear? So, to cut the story short, yeah, these are kind of characteristic of being resilient. First of all, you have to be life-purposeful, persistent, selfless, cooperative, and self-sufficient, self-initiated, proactive, positive thinking. Many people, for instance, lose a track here on positive thinking. And they say, oh, when they say, okay, you are not rich, but your children will be rich. Let them go to the street. That is where you have a negative. How can you, my child, be rich like the children of the other man behind? A change of mind. Some will say, let them go to school, they have their rich path. You don't look for other positive mindset change. So for a poor to thrive, he has to have a positive mindset. In my home region, it is very rich in tin mining. Tin mining. Yeah? You know Rulindo district?
Yes.
Yes.
There is a lot of tin there. And tin is minerals used for breads and for other purposes. Yeah? So many young children go for tin mining when they are in primary school. They start to collect tin in the rivers. And some of them say, okay, I can even pay my teacher to school. How can I lose time to go to school when there is tin mines? When you don't have a parent who is resilient, then you find yourself in tin mines after 10 years, after 20 years, and even if you have a lot of money, you don't have a mindset which can trigger you to development. And that is why we have to look on the theory of development as well. Development is the economic progress over time. Over time. Also the change, the structural change in culture, in politics, also in finance. When people have money, they start to think also of having some other more freedom. That is what you call political development. They start to think of democracy or some space of freedom because they are rich. Yeah? That is a progress. So development is more than economic growth. It has political aspect, cultural aspect, livelihood aspect. That is development. You get, there are many other theories, for instance, the post-development theory, right? Or post-materialist theory. We will not focus on that. But the point here is that we need to develop from 950 up to at least 5,000 in the next 20 years. But how can we manage this? Building resilience. So, marginalization limits opportunity. Marginalization. Why? Who can explain me? Maybe a person from South Sudan, I saw some. And if you have also different identities, you are free to tell us, yeah? Yeah? And share experience. I like multicultural society. Yeah? Someone from there, for instance? You are?
No.
Or from Burundi? Or? Okay. Let's listen to a person from South Sudan. How can marginalization limit opportunity? Based on the case of South Sudan. Okay.
All right. Let me take it in the context of I want to narrate maybe a small story that happened in South Sudan before we became a nation.
Just quickly, yeah?
Yeah, before we became a nation, we were marginalized. We were not given opportunities in the Sudan. So that means we were limited to economic opportunities. We were limited to economic opportunities because we don't have the right. There was segregation, racial segregation. So, and that could be the same fact that when you're not free, you cannot be able to do something.
Very good. Yeah. Any other intervention from a lady or someone? Yes, that's good. But let's use gender sensitivity. You have understood one person. What's the name?
Ajak.
Ajak. And the lady? Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I just want to bring the same example as you said.
Yes.
I'm from Sudan, like the North Sudan.
Yeah.
But in the North Sudan, we have we have the black and the Arabs.
Yes.
So the black are also marginalized, and when you look at the education system in the south of the part of Sudan, people are marginalized. Like there's no access to education, even jobs. Like you can, even if you're educated and you go to the North Sudan, if you're like I'm a Sudanese, when they look at the race, like the color, they'll be like, no, just because you are not an Arab, simply. So it means people have access to, like they have limited access to opportunities just because of their race, and they cannot exercise their freedom. Like, and this is what causes poverty. Like, the power is not balancing the
Accessibility.
Yeah.
What are the cases of opportunities? Thank you very much. The name again is?
Risala.
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 Risala means the message.
The message.
She gave a good message.
Yes, then she gave a good message.
Yes.
What are the ranges of opportunities? Yeah, that are not only economic opportunities or education opportunities. What are the other social or cultural opportunities? For instance, access to health. Yeah, that's another opportunity. What's another opportunity? Apart from economic, apart from political, let's go to cultural and social. Yeah? Yes, what are the opportunities?
Even the sense of being belonging to others.
The belongingness. The belongingness. And that is what she's mentioning. She's from North Sudan, but sometimes with stigma that the others will not accept him well. Huh? What else? Yes.
Literacy opportunities.
Huh?
Literacy opportunities. For example, someone churches began to accept the pastor women.
Who is the woman?
This is their women opportunity for the women.
Yes. Sometime, yeah. Sometime it's debatable, but it limits also cultural opportunity and cultural change. What else? Very nice point. Yeah?
It's also for marriage.
That is what I need.
So, for example, in Rwanda, it is still hard to find people who are being married with those families from those called Rwanda Abattoir. Recently, when I was children, there is a girl who was being loved by a man, but the guy was from that family that's called the Abattoir. But the family of boy rejected the woman, saying that you cannot let you marry this man. But this woman, this is also a challenge within the marriage between the Nigerian family.
Okay, so take 1 minute here in class. And think your social and cultural limits among the group of people. The group.
Each two together, please. He's asking you for exercise. What are the social barriers, right, for belonging?
Yes. And I will ask you randomly, just 2 minutes.
2 minutes, each two together, maybe you can to discuss it.
I will ask you.
Did you understand what he's asking? Okay, repeat, Doctor.
I'm asking.
Doctor, listen, guys.
Think about your cultural limits with other people. Or maybe
Cultural barriers. What are the cultural barriers?
Or even social barriers. Not maybe economic, but social, because those are sometimes forgotten. You discuss first.
Okay, discuss now just for 1 minute.
1 minute.
And then we
I
can
ask you randomly. Barimitinga umuco cyangwa gushikirana imitungo wagira wowe ubwawe cyangwa wagira ku bandi cyangwa wagirira ahandi. Okay, 1 minute over then. Stop debating. Enough. Okay, I start by my brothers. So, what are the cultural limits you have to you and you have to others also? Yes, for you. Language barrier?
Can we have your attention, guys? We listen, we can hear.
Where should this in the country? For me, I have some scenario where I have friends in the Burundi.
Yes.
Just mix Kinyarwanda and Kirundi. But sometimes when I speak to the other people,
they start to say, oh, you are Murundi.
yeah, they talk to me, I'm Burundi.
Can you repeat what you said because you couldn't hear?
He says he has an experience of living in Burundi. When he speaks Kirundi here, sometimes other guy can question him from Burundi. Starting to
separate.
So yes. Good point. Yeah. And you? Yes, you can speak about it.
We discuss on gender-based violence, putting the young ladies. So in order to access job, it can be also doing something which can able to access that job. Either can go or say harassed.
Sexual harassment.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there is another, in human resources, there is some job, in order to access it, is accessed by men, like field officers in organizations. Many ladies, they don't have driving lessons to off motorbike. Yes, they don't.
Yeah. We have very few motorcyclists who are women.
Yes.
Very good. That's enough.
Okay, with my friends we saw that
Thank you.
only ignorance can limit somebody to access That's why ignorance.
Yes. Yes. You have that phrase and we come in front of here and we have that. Yeah? We select those three groups, yeah?
Thank you. That one answer for us is so that classes.
Can you raise your voice?
Socio-economic class.
Yes. For example, the people in the last division
Yes.
are not allowed to go outside.
Yes.
Or when you are going to the hospital, the way they give the services are different depending on the class.
Yeah, because in Rwanda there are classification of people according to their wealth. Those who are very poor, the government takes them in charge. Most of the things, health, education, whatever. But they are not allowed to get visa to go out.
Okay.
That is what she says. That is very important, yeah. And many of my students have been raising this issue that there are people who cannot get visa or passport from government because simply they are in lower economic class. That's very important. Thank you very much. We come to that side.
We just discussed about immunization, decision making. Decision making, like he said, for example, in some culture back there, it's like ours. From South Sudan, women are not allowed to make decisions. They don't have that that chance of speaking. So other people. So
this can put them under. Yeah. Same like in Rwanda also. My students went in the first year. It is a struggle ways to engage women. When I give them assignment, when there are 10 students and there are maybe 5 girls, they will let boys to speak and present. So I have to take action. Here are some of my students, I think, that have been teaching or will still teaching. I have to tell, please, if you don't have women in the presentation, I retrieve some marks. That is how I engage So that's the good point. And we come here and we finish by here. It's okay? You allow it? Yes, we finish or continue? No, okay.
We just discussed there's a problem of the more people.
Can you raise your voice so that the others can hear you?
Yeah, we just discussed there's more people not they have a lack of education.
Lack of education.
Yeah. In this country and others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the problem is the fact of not having a degree or education.
Yeah.
What is the limit?
To limit opportunities.
Like what? I need them to know them.
To work.
Very good point. You cannot be a mayor in Rwanda if you don't have bachelor's degree. And we have a lot of mayors who are corrupt with bachelor's degree. Yes. And who can not even manage their wives with bachelor's degree or their husband. And then you have to manage 20,000 people because you have a big degree. That is a big mistake. That is a big mistake. That is what we call elitocracy. Elitocracy means they give you position because you have a degree. And a degree doesn't mean you can manage on this. In some societies, they can look at you and you have been building a house 10 years after, The Harvard University can call you and give you an engineering degree without school. Yes, yes. In America, in UK, they do that. Yes. Or you have been a good reader for maybe 20 years, they give you PhD. Yes, yes. Even our president have got it, PhD, honoris causa and others, yeah. Because they have been transforming the society. But without maybe PhD in leadership. No. But in Rwanda, sometimes we don't give value to people. I've been doing a lot of research in Gakinjiro cooperatives, yeah? Carpentry. And we have a lot of people who claim, for instance, okay, people from the university, they don't come for us to help us to practice what they have learned back here. But sometimes they come, we teach them, but there is no engagement with us, and we know. But they studied, but we know, yeah? But they don't have paper. And this is a discrimination because of degrees, meritocracy. We call it. That's very nice. Here, there is a lot of nice points actually. But let's go so that we can have another presenter later. So, marginalization limits person to have access to job, resource, market, and so on. Second stage, the space for opportunity finding. We can have, for instance, a framework to build capacity by increasing the opportunity space. So, who are the voters community? We used to call them the minority groups, almost calculated between 1 to 2% of Rwandan society. Before, yeah? Yeah. So they have been so marginalized and stigmatized and impoverished. Some of them have lost their land because other people grabbed their land, and when they go to the court, they fail because they are poor. That is what we call injustice over the poor. It happened over time in Rwanda. And so how can we do resilience? This is my photo from the field. I used to see them either they were doing some business in the street, yeah. And this is what they told me. I was unhappy, but now we are in agglomerations with others, and we are happy, and we socialize with them. Yeah. The fact that the government put him in another location can make him happy because he's now living with other people. The best way to empower a person is to socialize with him. If we bring you here, if we don't say anything and we greet each other and go home, it has an impact already. Even if we didn't talk anything, we invited you and we meet, we take coffee and we go. That is enough. Even if me and Liberata didn't say anything, it has a direct impact. Socializing with people affects the development and network and communication. So, government have been taking them in a so-called marginalized places, in huts, yeah? Yes. Especially built through grasses, and the government put them in an agglomeration in Vada so that they can socialize. That is one of the mechanisms used. The other mechanism, you can see their vases. They look like European vases. Yeah? Traditionally, in Rwandan culture, we didn't have culture of having such vases. But the government and the NGOs give them iron car that they put on their vases. That is empowering them through working. Some of you read NGOs, others are still students, they will be inspiring others. But this is what the government and the NGOs, society does. They provide iron car, painting, and give them to the ladies, the women. And then when they do their vases, they color them nice. These vases can be sold in Rwanda, in America, in Bahrain, in Qatar, anywhere. It is a global vase. Yes, that's a nice change because I bought one. This time I bought this one. I have it in my office. Huh? This one, I bought it. Directly. Of course they are cheap. They didn't sell it to me directly. It was like zero donation because we have been socializing. They gave it to me to 2,000 Rwanda money. Yeah, it was like a deal. We did some small deals because I was a researcher.
But the reality should not be less than 5, right?
In reality, they told me it's like between 4,000 and 5, as you said. And still it is cheaper comparing to the global market. Yeah? We can talk about this if we go deep in the issue, and I don't want to do that. Yeah? So these small bars, for instance, 2,000 or maybe 3,000. Okay. Because it's the culture of Rwandans to share. They give it to me 2,000. I say, okay, we're going together. And they say, okay, also I give you this. And it was a deal of sharing and communicating.
They call it sharing economy.
Yes, sharing economy. And then the government give them some free money support. At least little money. They opened a telephone account, Airtel money. Airtel, and every person have Airtel money. They put there 5,000 or 10,000. Normally 10,000 each month. Yeah? It's little money, it's $10. Little money, but it's worth it. It's a sign of socialization with their state. And then NGOs. And other NGOs come and give them money, support. For instance, American NGO have given them 800 USD or 800,000 Rwanda money. It's a program which is called Give Direct from America. In the Gisagara district, they give them everyone, rich or poor, historically marginalized or not, have received 800,000 as part of building their resilience economy after crisis, regional crisis. Everyone got it. So, to cut the story short, these are the interviews. Can you read one? It's
many people don't like to do poetry. Why it could help them?
Yes.
They want to look like others, while others have different opportunities to enter into other jobs / works.
Yes.
Therefore, youth who are not doing poetry, they are busy selling peanuts, selling banana, and some work on stove production.
Yeah. So what he is talking about is even if they can develop their poetry also. It is not bad to be a potter, but it depends on what you take from it. But also there is another interview result. Yeah? Yeah? For instance, this one. Yeah? The next one. Okay. Diversification. Diversification of economy. They claim to do pottery, but they want to diversify pottery with agriculture. And why? That is why they say, okay, we need land. We need land? We don't have land. Because they have been deprived of land for a long time by other groups, by force. So they need land. Probably land distribution. Government gave them the small plot for our new agglomeration, but they need land to have maybe their cattle grazing, or maybe sheep, or maybe plant bananas. They have been losing land gradually over 15 years. 50 years, sorry. Yes, I will give you time for patience. Another challenge, for instance, to study. They say, even if government gives us free education up to secondary school, we cannot go to school to help our mothers in survival economy. Survival economy, we have to go to fetch water, we have to go to help them in pottery activity, we have to cook for them. So the young person told me, the young lady you saw, told me, I can't continue school because even if I am among the brightest person, I cannot go to school because if I go to school, how shall I survive afterwards? The government of Rwanda and the NGOs are trying to help, poor society, for instance, to feed school at noon. They give them food free. Yeah. Some schools, not all, but some are targeted to be given food, especially rice, beans, and milk. Yeah. But this policy should be enlarged even to other areas. So, and another challenge is household activities. Too much hated by household activities. In developed society, for instance, in Europe, where most of it started, when a child say, "Oh, my parents always ask me to wash dishes or take care of my sisters," as Dr. said earlier, they say, "Oh, no, they are depriving you from your rights. So we are going to take care of you, and the parents will be accountable. Why are not taking care of the kids?" But in Rwanda, this is not yet. So, and we need to change your mindset. How can we give the rights to kids? Yeah? My wife also used sometimes to do that, and I said, "Oh, my daughter, wash me dishes, do this, do this." And I said one, "No, you don't have to do that. Because the child also have time to revise homework, to do school activities, even to relax and to pray." This is important, very important. And another activity is changing the mindset of our organization. How can we change the mindset? How can we embrace resilience? How can we transform our mind? And even including the historically marginalized groups. It's up to you to decide to what extent can you help people. Yeah? Some of you will read the NGOs, for instance, to change the mind of historically marginalized groups. Some will say, "I am going to marry at 18 or 15 or 16. How can we change their mind? For instance, traditionally, those marginalized persons, they had their own barrier race. Did you know? So, government birangomba kwibakangurira gushyinguramo n'abandi bakabaherekeza bakabashyigikira. This is a change that is going on. But how can you enlarge that change to get society high? Yeah? In developing fast. Yeah? As our leaders say. So, in short, we can say that in Rwanda, we have to continuously build the capability of historically marginalized